So I wanted to take this opportunity to provide a lesson for those individuals out there, would-be investors, let's call you. And you can take it or leave it. But once again, folks, this is why it's absolutely critical for you to understand my track record, understand what I'm about, my credentials, because once you understand that, you're going to be listening to every word I say. You're going to be taking notes, and you're going to probably study that information. Because you see, the vast majority of people out there, aka sheeple, if the media tells you somebody's great over and over again, you're going to believe it, and you're going to listen to that person. It's repetition. In fact, let me just mention something. Don't have time to go over it. I saw another video just coming across Alex Hormozy. This guy's a fucking fraud. He's a scam artist. He's a fake it till you make it scammer. He's buying all types of advertisements on you. I mean, this guy went from no views in 2 years. He's got 3 million subscribers. Fake books, ghost-written books, all the nonsense. Fake it till you make it. Oh, my name is Alex Hormozy. I sold 9 companies and what? Oh, really? Is that where you're selling your fucking courses? You're a big dog. You're a bigwig, and you're selling courses to fucking kids. Fuck. If you people can't fucking wake up and see what's going on, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, you're in deep fucking trouble. But anyway, the point is that, folks, is that you have to learn to not believe the media when they're telling you things, especially things, and I'm not talking about factual things. I'm talking about things they're making claims about certain people. And especially in the financial media, because the financial media is very, to some degree, one-dimensional. And by one-dimensional, what I mean there is that it's pretty easy to understand the motivations, the advertisers, the content. Whereas if you have a full-fledged network, let's say CBS, they've got a variety of content. Of course, CBS owns part of this mafioso gang of criminal operations, Market Watch, Dow Jones, and of course they discriminate against people that are not in their tribe. That's fact. Take a look at Market Watch, for instance, and take a look at the people that are writing for Market Watch, and you'll notice one thing in common. Every single fucking one of them. How do I know? I've been watching it for fucking years. Years. And it's not just Market Watch. It goes on and on and on. Folks, I've got all the evidence. Okay? But my point is that you need to start using your head and proving things to yourself instead of listening, believing the media. The media is a criminal enterprise, and the media makes money from deceiving people. It's fact. So the reason why I wanted to make this video today is because I posted this video here, but this video you may want to watch. Well, you definitely want to watch it. This video goes through my track record from the beginning, from America's Financial Apocalypse. And listen, folks, I mean, we're talking the 2006 edition, the original extended version. Take a look at that book. Take a look at that book almost 20 years later and tell me that might be the best investment book ever written. When you take a look at all, not just the financial crisis, I mean, just the financial crisis information alone, but take a look at all the information on trade that I talked about. I warned about the U.S.-China trade being a national security threat to the U.S., so on and so forth. I warned how China was already sneaking in to the U.S., avoiding tariffs, going through Mexico. And you're hearing about this now. Have you heard about this now with the EVs? I wrote about this fucking 17 years ago. Who else? Nobody in the world, folks. And I'm banned. You're listening to one of the top experts in the world, one of the very best investment analysts, probably in the history of the world. Probably, I can't confirm that for sure, but I don't know anyone else who's achieved what I've achieved. And I'm not saying this to brag. You brag when everyone is aware of something. I'm saying this so that you're aware of it, because I've been banned. And the whole idea is to ban experts like me and to position con men, contrarian indicators, idiots, and clowns as experts in order to create dumb money. You understand? You create the dumb money, you generate demand for advertisements that are bought by Wall Street. They cause you to blow up your portfolio because you listen to Jim Cramer, because you listen to Harry Dent, because you listen to Peter Schiff, because you listen to David Rosenberg, just because you listen to all these guys that are in the same little clan. You know, take a look at all of them. You blow up, you get desperate, you get depressed, you see an advertisement from Merrill Lynch, from Chase, from Schwab, and guess what? You pick up the phone, you make a phone call. That's what you call high ROI, high return on investment. And the investment is buying the advertisements. In addition, of course, the media mafia, they got their buddies who they involve with insider trading, tip-offs, and so on and so forth. This is how it works, folks. This is why you will never see anyone worth a damn in the media, in the financial markets. On the rare occasion, 1% of the time, let's say 0.5%, when you have a real expert, they're never going to tell you jack shit. They are there for FaceTime. They are there for free media exposure. You understand that? Anybody want to refute that? Tell me someone, an expert, that they've gotten something from in the media consistently. Now, they will have on occasion someone who's credible. Once again, it's about probably less than 1% of the time. But you're never going to hear anything from that person that's going to help you, ever, ever. So the point of this video, not this one you're seeing on the screen, but I wanted to show you this because somebody made a comment and I replied to this person. So take a look at Mr. Rice. I guess that's how you say the name, like Weiss. 2008 financial crisis was a long time ago. No one really cares anymore. Right now is what matters in the coming events of the next few years. So think about that for a second. So I thought this would be a nice learning opportunity for Mr. Rice and anyone else out there. Because listen, Mr. Rice's comment is typical of the dimwits. It's a typical stupid comment. Now, I don't mean any disrespect to Mr. Rice at all. It's typical. But it's not wise. It's not intelligent. He's missing the whole point. The whole point. If you're not seeing the whole point laid out in front of you, I don't understand how you're going to be successful in anything, much less investments. The entire point is, think about it for a second. I mean, he just told himself why it's important. Let's read this again. The 2008 financial crisis was a long time ago. No one really cares anymore. Right now is what matters in the coming events of the next few years. So this video highlights my track record since the financial crisis. And my tracker, I mean, my calls are too extensive. I could spend years going over them. It's just too much material. I'm not perfect, but I can tell you right now, show me anyone out there. I'll give you $1 million fucking dollars. You can find me a single person that can beat my track record. First of all, you're going to be hard-pressed to find anybody that covers all of the areas I cover. Most people, legitimate analysts, only cover, first of all, they only cover like a handful of companies in one little sector. That's all they do. Okay? So you're going to have to come across someone very exceptional, first of all, to be in my league. Highly exceptional. It's going to cover everything that I cover, okay? Market forecasting, U.S., emerging markets, Brazil, India, China, economic forecasting, securities analysis, securities forecasting, commodities, precious metals, foreign currencies. So, find somebody, okay? That's the most difficult thing right there. I don't think you're going to even find anybody. So my point is that I've been banned from day one. That's the point. If I've been banned, the guy that predicted the biggest financial crisis in world history, that's what it was. The biggest financial crisis in world history. So I've been banned. It doesn't matter. So don't you think that matters if I was banned? And in fact, I've made a case. Hopefully you all have seen the video. You've heard it. I'm probably the only person that actually truly predicted the financial crisis. Somebody out there, show me evidence. Somebody else predicted it. Show me. Give me evidence. Give me evidence. If you go through and take a look at all the individuals that the fraudulent criminal media, because of course, they pay the media for promotion, that they claim has predicted it, you won't find any evidence. And I've already shown you Meredith Whitney's evidence. Okay? You can go down the whole list. And as a matter of fact, Peter Schiff, I saw recently some type of a nonprofit economic education website put Peter Schiff's broken clock as one of the 5 worst predictions in the world history of Peter Schiff because he's such a broken clock. Okay. Noel Rubini, go down the list. So my point is, obviously, you've got this guy who accurately predicted the financial crisis and showed people how to make a fortune in advance and made it available to the world. He was banned. He tried to help the public. He was banned. That's not only should I get a fucking Nobel Prize for that prediction, but maybe a movie should be made about me. Well, maybe it's not too exciting, right? We got to get the exciting factor in there. So think about it. It is important. It's very important because it tells you how the media operates. It tells you how the media operates. That's the first thing. The second thing is, he says, right now is what matters in the coming years and of the events in the next few years. Okay, so I'm the guy that predicted a financial crisis, the most historic crisis in world history. I'm being banned. How are you going to find out what's going to happen in the next few years? Don't you think I'm the single person best positioned to know what's going on based upon my track record? You understand the relevance. You understand how this guy is just totally, but this is the typical response you would get, especially from these YouTube people that want it, they're impulsive. Now, what's now? Give me this, huh? Give me this, give me. Folks, if you have this mentality, you're going to be a loser all of your life in everything that you do. If you're not able to intelligently understand this message, like I said, look, if you're not aware that the material presented in this video is fact, or if you don't understand the full relevance of Mike Stathis' 2008 financial crisis predictions, as well as this video, consider yourself the dumb money. You got to understand the relevance. I don't care how long it's been. Don't blame me for it being this long. I've been banned this whole fucking time. This is why it's absolutely critical for you to understand my track record. But most people are lazy. Only the winners are going to devote that time because they're going to understand the relevance of that. Only the winners are going to do that. The losers aren't going to do that. And they're going to lose in their whole life. Let me ask you a question. Think about somebody who's intelligent, who's successful. Intelligent and successful. And you think about what they would be doing. Of course they would look into this. Okay? But people aren't intelligent and they're not successful and intelligent. Why? Because they're letting their mind be numbed and turned into mush by the internet, by the various mechanisms of the internet, which has been the worst innovation in human history. So I think it's a great learning point here because a lot of people are going to think the same thing. No doubt. A lot of people are going to think the same thing because they don't get it. They don't get it. What they want is they want to know how they can make money now. And I hope to God, because it has to happen. It needs to happen. We didn't get enough of a collapse in 2022. People have been spoiled shitless. They don't understand. They've got it so good. Most of these investors have not been through a real recession ever. Ever. They don't know what it's like. We saw COVID. We were in a bear market for 3 weeks? Right? It was a joke in terms of being a real recession. And then the market sell off, the bear market of 2022. Didn't get a recession. We need to have a blowout recession like we had for the dot-com bubble. And we haven't had anything really like that. 2022, there was a little resemblance, but not much. I'm talking about actually in 2021, the events leading up 2020. But that's what we need to have to clear, and I mentioned this a couple of years ago, to clear the system of all the shit out there. People need to suffer. They need to fucking suffer and never want to come in the stock market again. And that's what happened 25 years ago. That's what needs to happen. I'm telling you, right? And I hope it fucking happens. I hope it happens. It has to happen. It needs to happen. We need to clear the market of all this shit, all this stupidity, all these fucking kids that have no fucking clue what they're doing. They need to get blown the fuck up in the stock market. That's what needs to happen. Their portfolios need to get blown the fuck up. And they need to not ever, ever want to invest in the market again. That's what needs to happen. And I hope it does happen. You know, we're seeing this period here. And of course, you know, people, folks, this is the thing, you know, it's just amazing to me. And of course, you know, it's amazing. You can't say anything. And by the way, anyone out there who you trust, ask yourself the question. Are they identifying what's really going on? Do you trust Donald Trump? Do you trust Donald Trump? Is Donald Trump honest, or is Donald Trump for Donald Trump? Do you trust Elon Musk? Is Elon Musk honest? Is Elon Musk going to tell you what's going on, really? When he talks about Disney being woke and Lucasfilms being woke, is he going to tell you the full story? Right? Is he going to get to the root cause? Who's behind it? Of course he's not. Because he's surrounding himself with, you know, some of these same people that are involved. They're just kind of on a different side of the fence. You understand? If you're not telling the truth, 100% truth, you're a fucking liar. That's as far as I'm concerned. Okay? Just remember that. You're not going to find many people out there. I don't know of anybody telling the truth. Because you know what happens when you tell the truth? You get problems. People come after you. All I've done from day one is tell the truth and try to help people. That's why I got banned. That's all I did when I wrote this book. I tried to help people avoid what I saw was going to be a bigger collapse than the dot-com bubble. That was my only motivation. Had no help, had nothing. And I was banned. Why? Because I exposed the free trade scam that's destroyed America's middle class. I exposed the criminality of Wall Street. I exposed everything. And I lifted the veil off of America's healthcare scam, the healthcare crisis that we are still in. Complete. Wall Street runs healthcare. This is why healthcare is fucked up in America. They don't want to hear this. Now, if I had a different surname, I probably would have gotten some publicity. I probably would have gotten some exposure. I know I would have gotten some. Because if you've got the right name, you can get some exposure. You'll just be pushed on the kind of like on the left side. They'll put you kind of as a, you know, if you're exposing things, they'll kind of, the liberals will promote you as long as you're from the right tribe, you see. But I'm no liberal, and I'm no conservative. I'm neither. I'm apolitical. Because as I wrote about in the book, essentially, you know, because I talked about getting rid of lobbyists a long time ago in that book, right? The political system in America is a farce. It's a scam. It's a joke. It's a complete joke. Your vote doesn't matter. That's the thing people don't get. When it comes to the most critical issues faced by America, your vote doesn't matter. Because no matter who you vote for, they're not going to make healthcare affordable. They're not going to bring the jobs back. You see, Trump knew what to say to get elected. Going to bring the jobs back because he's old enough to have seen all these jobs leave. He didn't bring any jobs back. What did he do? He cut taxes for the wealthy. He cut taxes for corporations. As I pointed out in America's Financial Apocalypse, corporate taxes actually are too low. What did you ever hear that? No. All you heard in the media, oh, we got the highest corporate income taxes in the world. No, we don't. That's the gross fucking tax rate. You got to look at the effective tax rate. You understand? You got to look at what the companies are paying after all the deductions and after all the tax credits. And when you look at that, America's corporations had a very low tax rate. Did you hear that before? No. I wrote about that 17 fucking years ago. And the fact is that very few people can understand the relevance of the material that I wrote in this book. And they call themselves investors. That's the sad reality. That's the sad fucking reality. So you got this guy. It's a long time ago. No one cares anymore. Really? Really? Is that why the media is always pumping out, oh, Michael Burry and The Big Short? Maybe some of you out there want to communicate to the media. It's been tough 17 fucking years. 17, and I'm going to keep making fucking videos about this stuff till the day I fucking die. I'm going to keep doing it. And I'm going to keep making videos exposing this criminal network, this criminal mafia that's racist, that's supremacist, that discriminates against people, that can't be criticized, that can't be investigated, that can't be prosecuted because they're too powerful, because they control everything. And if you talk about it, you get defamed. You get called racist. Think about that one. This is the same group of criminals behind all of these large-scale social engineering projects, from multiculturalism to open borders to the whole woke movement. It's been going on for decades, folks. Decades. They began by opening the borders in America in 1965. This has all been done intentionally. Now, anybody out there, by the way, who you think is on your side, telling the truth, ask yourself this question. Are they identifying the root cause? The group of people that's behind it? Are they identifying that group of people? If they're not, they're gatekeepers. Okay? Understand that. Now, I didn't know anything about all this stuff until I got banned. I didn't know anything about all this stuff, how things work, until I got banned. Once I got banned, I started asking questions. I started investigating. I couldn't fucking believe what I saw. Couldn't believe it. And then you open your eyes more and more. And if you're like me, you've been watching it closely because it affected your life directly for years. You've been watching it for close to 2 decades now. And what do you see? You see a lot of control, not just in America, not just Canada, not just Europe. You also see it in Latin America. If you want a hint, if you want a clue, who truly runs these countries in Latin America, because it's more hidden there. It's like America was probably 50, 60, 70 years ago. And if you want a clue about who runs all this stuff, just listen to the President Richard Nixon tapes. If you want a clue who runs these countries in Latin America, take a look at who the finance ministers are, who the economic ministers are of these countries in Brazil, Argentina, Chile. Okay, and then take a close look. You can even take a close look at who the presidents are. Take a close look at who the presidents are. Investigate their lineage. It's a big problem. If you want to know why your country, wherever you are from, is being invaded by aliens, by foreigners who don't belong there, the borders have been opened up. If you want to know how this is possible, it's because you have aliens controlling your country who don't care about your country. They want to destroy your country. This is the reality. You don't open the borders and just let anybody in. Desperate people. Ask yourself why this is going on. Who would do this? Who would do this to their country? Do you think countries in Asia would do this? Do you think China would do this? What do you think happens in China if illegals come in the country? So this is the lesson, folks. If you want to know what's going on, if you want to truly know what's going on, ask yourself the question, is the person really getting to the bottom of things? Is the person getting to the truth? The full truth and nothing but the full truth. Okay? The full truth and nothing but the full truth. I mean, you know, when you go after the scammers, nobody's gone after the scammers like me. Nobody has even come remotely close. Not even, I'm light years ahead of anybody. I've been going after these guys for almost 20 years. And I've taken down the big guys. You know, the big guys. From the financial charlatans, the con men, the broken clocks, the contrarian Indian. I've taken down all these guys. Who else has taken these guys down? I don't take them down by trashing them. I take them down by showing their track record. It's not that difficult. Peter Schiff, Harry Dent, Jim Cramer, Josh Brown, the Jerry and Knuckleheads, Jim Rogers, Mark Faber, all these guys. The list goes on and on and on. You'll notice one thing about all these experts. They're all related. Okay? They're all of the same ethnicity. And then you take a look at the people who run the shows. Take a look at CNBC. Take a close look. We're talking about discrimination, folks. That's what we're talking about. You will never, ever, ever get any reach, any critical mass reach in the world if you tell the full truth and nothing but the full truth. Ever. Because if you do so, you're going to make too many enemies. And you're going to have too many people coming after you. That's just a fact. And the sad thing is, these people on YouTube, I mean, the financial media, the CNBCs out there, Fox Business, Barron's, Wall Street Journal, all that bullshit, not to mention the boiler room websites like Yahoo Finance, Benzinga, all this garbage. I mean, these are a disaster. YouTube, that's another universe. That's another level. It's a billion times worse. And of course, all these YouTubers, where do you think they get their bullshit from? They get it from the media. Remember, all these fake investment gurus, they were riding Cathie Wood's fucking coattail for the longest time. Cathie Wood, she's a fucking joke. She's a con artist and an idiot. Absolutely. And think about it. Cathie Wood is similar to Peter Schiff. You know why? Because without being promoted by their media tribesmen, nobody would know who they are. Think about it. They've done nothing. They've done nothing but perform poorly, but be wrong. But ask yourself why they exist, why people follow Cathie Wood, why people invest in her funds. Why? Because every single fucking second you turn somewhere, it's Cathie Wood, Cathie Wood. Think of this, folks, this is the big picture. This is the reality. This is what you got to focus on. The media is the cause of this shit. You understand? I've been going over this shit for years. The media creates these fraudsters, these con artists. YouTube is the machine that empowers these fraudsters. CNBC is the machine that empowers these fraudsters, these con men, these clowns. And you guys, the audience, you're the suckers. You feed the machine. You feed the machine. And some of you out there, why don't you contact these people personally? Contact them. Ask them if they're willing to go up on a neutral platform against me. They won't do it ever, ever, because they know I got their number. You see, con artists operate through perception. They create a false perception. And this is why con artists form syndicates. They align themselves, they ally with other con men. So they form a big web, a big network, so that you're too busy following Robert Kiyosaki. Oh, Robert Kiyosaki hangs out with Mike Maloney. Okay, you're gonna listen to what Mike Maloney has to say. Oh, Mike Maloney hangs out with Peter Schiff. You're gonna listen to what Peter Schiff has. You're so inundated with all this propaganda, the same horseshit essentially, that basically impossible for you to weave your way out of this web of deceit. This is why con artists like to form syndicates. And they want to make sure to create this false perception, and they use the media to do that. Why do you think Robert Kiyosaki's never been exposed by the media? Think about it for a second. With all the shows out there, all the journalistic shows, the investigative reports and so forth, you hear about, you've got local news stations and this and that and, 2020 and whatever. Never has Robert Kiyosaki been exposed as the fraud and con man that he is, right? So naturally, it's normal for you to say, well, I don't know, because everybody says he's great and the media hasn't said anything. They promote him, and right? Until you understand how the media operates. The reason why Robert Kiyosaki's never been exposed is because he's bought off the media. He's protected. The only media outfit that's ever exposed him was a Canadian outfit. You can find it, I think, on ScamTube. Apparently, he wasn't paying the Canadian media enough money. See, Robert Kiyosaki spends millions of dollars advertising for all his cash flow seminars and all this bullshit, which, of course, he's not even associated with. He just gets a licensing for his name. That money's paying off the media. He's protected. You understand? He's protected. In fact, if you take a look at his business partner, by the way, her last name is, I think, Lechner. The lady that basically ghost wrote all his stupid books. He didn't write anything. Robert Kiyosaki is basically illiterate. But speaking of protected, of course, Peter Schiff. I think Peter Schiff is so bad. Like he's known as such a con man and such a contrarian indicator now. I'm pretty sure he's having to pay the media to get interviews now, because I saw an interview one time, and what's the guy's name? He said, oh, well, you're paying for this. But it doesn't matter, because Peter Schiff got unlimited promotion for, 15, 16 years daily, which enabled him to make a boatload of money that he didn't deserve. He didn't earn that money. He caused people to lose a lot of money. I've shown his mutual funds. Take a look. You can't get a lot worse than that. Ask any of these guys, okay? You can tell Kathy Wood I said she's a fucking fraud. Kathy Wood's not she's a fraud. She's more than a con artist. She's an absolute fraud, is what she is. She's running a fraudulent operation. She claims to have analysts, and they're not even qualified. She claims all this nonsense. You had a lady, Kathy Wood, 2 years ago when inflation was at its peak, and she was saying that we were in deflation. You all know that, right? Talking about deflation. Because high tech. I mean, it's just amazing to me. Folks, if anybody knows about fucking high tech, it's probably a guy who's got an advanced degree in science from one of the best universities in the world, who's worked in high-tech venture capital and merchant banking. Moi. That would be me. And I can tell you right now, Kathy Wood doesn't have a fucking rat's ass of what's going on. I mean, you talk about tech. Can you find anybody in the world, any other analyst in the world, who's been recommending NVIDIA for 15 years. And that's just official. I was recommending it shortly after it went IPO every year. But in terms of my research, when I started the research, the very first publication since 2009, nobody knew what NVIDIA was in 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014. Nobody fucking had a clue. Anybody can fucking recommend it now, but can you recommend it when it's a baby? Think about that insight. Anybody in the world do that besides me? That alone is worthy of claiming to be one of the top analysts in the world. I could claim that just from that alone. Maybe it was luck. Well, how about Netflix? Same thing, except 2008. Okay? And then my financial crisis stuff. I mean, so, this is who you're dealing with here, folks. Show me somebody else. Somebody. And the point is, whether I'm the top guy in the world and what I do or not doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. I think that I probably am. I mean, maybe I'm not. I don't know. I mean, show me somebody. You know what matters, though? Certainly, I'm one of the top guys. That's irrefutable. That's absolutely irrefutable. Anybody that wants to refute that, put the money up, and we'll go in front of a qualified consulting group, neutral party. I'm certainly one of the top investment analysts in the world, at the very top of that list. Okay? One of the very top. So the question becomes, why have I been banned and I remain banned? What's going on? And then you ask yourself, of all the so-called experts out there who are always promoted, take a look at their track record. Almost inevitably, almost invariably, you're going to see failures. Terrible track record, right? So ask yourself, okay, we know what the motive is, right? I've already explained that. They want to create dumb money. But then take a look at who all these so-called experts are. Do they have something in common? Is there a commonality that they share? Yeah, there is. And I've documented that. It's what you call discrimination. It's racial discrimination. And you don't hear about that. This is what really matters, folks. This conversation is what really matters. When you understand this, you understand many things. When you understand my credibility and my commitment to the truth and what I've sacrificed, okay, then you're going to listen very carefully to what I have to say. I mean, this stuff that I'm talking about is easy. It's easy peasy shit. The difficult stuff is, my forecasting, the research. That's the difficult stuff because I don't have a crystal ball. And there's so many variables that can change, right? The stuff that's easy is to see what's going on because that stuff doesn't change. It's factual. It's right there in front of your face. All you have to do is open your eyes and look at it. If you don't open your eyes, you're not going to see it. I know this because I didn't open my eyes before. I had to have an event occur to cause me to open my eyes. And that was me being banned for absolutely no reason whatsoever, at least no reason that I thought of. Apparently, if you threaten to expose the system by which many fraudsters are making tons of money deceiving people, then you're going to be shut out. You're going to be shut out. This is what it's all about, folks. This is what it's all about. This is the big picture. The scary thing, the dangerous thing for humanity is that the way this whole media apparatus works is that people, especially online on the internet, because of the algorithms, they're designed to create confirmation bias. So you're going to get stuck into this trap, this web. And you're not ever going to find real sources out there. You're going to think to yourself that, gosh, Tom Nash is really intelligent and he knows what's going on. Why? Because you're listening to Stockmo and whomever, and you understand. And the reality is that they're all disasters. They're all scam artists and fraudsters and idiots. But you don't know that. You're only comparing what you've come across. The problem is that YouTube, the media, is promoting idiots, scammers, fraudsters. So your comparison is in that batch. You don't have a way to find someone legitimate. You see? It's a big problem. It's a huge problem. This is how the media operates. And so, you got this guy here, David Rosenberg. I mean, this guy's a loser. He's a fucking loser. You me tell you the story on David? Folks, I got the number on all these SOBs. I've been around the fucking game for a long time, okay? I've been watching these fucking con artists for a long ass time. Let me tell you the deal with David Rosenberg in case you don't know. David Rosenberg was, of course, a Wall Street. I think he was with Merrill Lynch a long time ago. I'm not positive. You can look that up. He was an economist or something with one of these Wall Street firms. And what happened to David is that, he became Doomsday David. And, it's kind of like Mike Wilson or David Costin. I was actually going to do a video on I'll probably do it for my subscribers, my members, clients. On Goldman Sachs, David Costin was one of the holdouts. If you saw my video on Mike Wilson, Morgan Stanley, Mike Wilson, anybody see that video? How I showed how Wall Street works and how Mike Wilson's in trouble, and you see how he kind of got canned, and now Morgan Stanley recently boosted the S&P, their forecast. I mean, I laugh at this shit because I'm the guy that was way ahead of Wall Street on my forecast of the S&P, way back a year ago when they were still worried about a recession. But Mike Wilson, I did a video on him. David Costin was also a holdout. Goldman Sachs, David Costin. He was a holdout towards the end of, it was only December, I think maybe the first or second week of December of 2023, did he come out and boost their 2024 S&P target. Okay. He boosted that. In fact, you can find a video on ScamTube, CNBC, December 6th, 2023. Look at it, David Costin. Find it right now. You can see it. He comes out, I think it was, he said 4,700. 4,700 was the high, his target for the S&P 500 in 2024. That was December 6th. And then he said, best case scenario, if interest rates come down quick, like starting in March, then we could get 5,000. By December 19th, he boosted that, I believe, to 5,100. Just because why? Because the S&P started to fly, so he had to catch it. Okay, and he stood there for months, month after month. Oh, it's not going higher. There's no more left in the S&P. There's no more. Finally, in June, he boosted it. He kept it at 5,100 all this time. He boosted a couple of weeks ago after looking like a fucking idiot. Okay. Do you hear about that? No. Folks, these guys in Wall Street, I said it before, I'll say it again. This is how it works. You're not going to hear this anywhere else. And I'm in a position to criticize Wall Street. None of these fucking fake investment gurus are. They're not in a position to criticize them. Because Wall Street, these guys know a shitload more than these fucking fake investment gurus. But from my perspective, Wall Street, it's kind of a clown show. My point is that all these guys on Wall Street, whether they're chief investment strategists, chief economists, analysts, they're all salesmen. They're all in sales. That's what they're doing. Okay, I learned that working on Wall Street. They're salesmen. They're no different than stockbrokers. Okay, that's what they are. They're salesmen. Okay, but anyway, get back to David Rosenberg. David Rosenberg became this, doom and gloom guy, and Merrill Lynch had to fucking cut him loose. Because the problem with the doom and gloom, I call it the doom and gloom disease. And it kind of offends me because everyone out there and their mother seem to think anybody who's ever bearish is a broken clock. Right? Because why? Because anybody just about out there that calls for doom, they are a broken clock. Right? I'm one of the few guys out there that's not a broken clock. That's the difference. I'm not a broken clock. I'm a real research analyst. I'm an accurate one. So David Rosenberg, he caught the doom and gloom fever, just like Mike Wilson did. He didn't know when to get out of it, just like Mike Wilson did. He didn't know when to get out of it, just like David Costin. So Rosenberg got the axe, and then he went on to work for some little small firm in Canada. He's a Canadian. And I think he's like on his own now. The bottom line, what I'm trying to say is that David Rosenberg is a Peter Schiff guy. Doom sells, okay? Doom and gloom. Oh, the U.S. You just go through, check out his track record, and you'll see he's calling for recession every year, okay? So that's the scoop on David Rosenberg. These guys are all fucking clowns. You know, I take offense when you got all these guys, oh, there's going to be another financial crisis. Who are they asking? If you want to know if there's going to be another financial crisis, you ask the fucking guy who predicted it, not some fucking clown. You know? But of course, folks, if the audience remains stupid, you're going to get dog shit. You understand? The audience remains stupid. That's why they can throw dog shit on you guys. That's why they can throw idiots, con artists, broken clocks. Because you're too stupid to realize what you're getting. At some point, if you're not realizing it, you know, this is what happens. This is what happened. Peter Schiff doesn't make as many appearances on CNBC anymore as before. Why? Because people eventually realized the guy was a broken clock. Virtually never right about anything, right? And so, you know, he doesn't make the rounds there anymore. Why? Because people complain. And if people are complaining, then think about it. The ad-based revenue model doesn't work well anymore because people aren't going to tune in. And people aren't going to listen to Peter Schiff. They're not going to blow up because they don't listen to him, right? And therefore, they're not going to need to call the sponsors of the people who advertise. You understand? Those ad spots aren't going to be as valuable. What the media needs to do, what they try and do, is they try and give you somebody who they want to tell you is an expert, but he's actually a clown. And you're going to think he's an expert. And you're going to listen to the guy. You're going to blow up. You're not going to even realize that you blew up because you listen to the guy. Because you're going to have so many inputs. Think about it. If you're watching CNBC, you get so many inputs. That's why Jim Cramer pops around all the time. He just talks about this stock, right? Same with YouTube. You don't realize you lost money probably because you lost to a specific YouTube fake investment guru. Because you listen to so much bullshit. You're taking so much content. Folks, it's not quantity, it's quality. You need to separate yourself from trash. You need to be very careful and to distance yourself from garbage. You need high yield, credible content in any type of venue that you're looking for, any type of genre. Always avoid dog shit. Always ask yourself the question, how is this person qualified to earn my time to listen to them? How are they fucking qualified? That's the key issue. Until you guys understand that, you're not going to get anywhere in life. I'm telling you right now. You're going nowhere. Now, I could kiss your ass and tell you you're great and you're going to be successful and you're wonderful and brilliant. That's not going to help you. You're going to like me more and you're going to give me thumbs up and you're going to subscribe and watch more of my videos. That's not going to help you. You understand what I'm saying? terms of getting back as an investor, if it's coming down to here, almost irrespective of what's going on, I have to believe, if I have to make a call in advance, and of course I can change depending on what happens, but I have to believe this is where you want to start doing that 18, 17, around there. Their earnings report is a complete game changer, at least for quite a while. bottom line, NVIDIA now is going to enter the realm of Tesla, Apple, and all these other big, I mean, listen, NVIDIA can come down to 150, come down to $100. If you don't think it's possible, then you don't understand how the market works. I mean, listen, NVIDIA can come down to 150, come down to $100. If you don't think it's possible, then you don't understand how the market works.